Hey, I will give you a few tips how you can determine when you're buying a vehicle, second-hand, maybe 10-year-old, and you're particularly worried about if the cooling system is working fine and if your vehicle doesn't have a head gasket issues. How can you actually determine that, right? On this vehicle, you have a clear expansion tank, and you can remove coolant expansion tank cap and look for visual signs for any emulsion around coolant cap, right? Be on an inspection to check the coolant freezing point, obviously you will not have the little gauge with you, but don't worry about that. Well, the main thing is indication. You're looking visually, you want to see the clean green, pink or blue antifreeze coolant in there, right? Which will indicate the health of the system in general. That will determine logically is the vehicle cooling system is on a healthier side, right? The next will obviously start the vehicle running, leave the vehicle running, and I will explain you. Well, you will be able in this test check three things: is your water pump working? Is the thermostat operating the same way, operating or working? And if the cooling fan comes on, and how can you determine is your head gasket okay? Normally on a starter, coming back to the head gasket, you can touch the pipes, you can feel, and you don't want to feel any bubbles. You don't want to feel something pressurizing straight away. You can also, if you have doubts, while engine is running, you can quickly remove the coolant expansion tank cap, and look for any excessive pressure buildup. That will be most like in the first 2 minutes of engine running, 3 minutes. Look for any hard pipes as well when the pressure is building up. Locate lower side of the lower pipe of the radiator and top pipe, because during the process you will need to feel them, touch them, right? To make sure they're warming up and you have a reasonable amount of pressure in it. And the car is now running, and how can you, coming back to the water pump, you see if the water pump is actually operating. This is just a logical sequence. How can you determine that? Obviously you're coming back in a car, what you do, turn straight away your hot air through the knobs all the way to the hot, leave the air conditioning off, and once the engine temperature is rising, right, put it on a vents and feel if you got a hot air coming through. So if you got hot air flowing through the air vents, that means your water pump is working. The coolant is being circulated around the system with the water pump help, and you get in hot air. So if you would not have hot air, so that means the water pump is not operational, and obviously you will soon start seeing engine overheating signs. The temperature will go all the way to the middle and will cross the middle section of the temperature gauge section, which is above 90. That's where you always want actually your gauge to be, just about middle or just on the middle, just before middle or just on the middle section of the gauge, right? So now you determine your water pump is working. You can obviously do these things after 10-15 minute road test. You can do it, you can start doing it before. It's up to you which sequence you want. Would be logically just go for the road test 10-15 minutes, 20 minutes. On diesel you need longer, because diesel has heavier engine parts, and they take and the heat was distributed from the petrol engine operation and diesel engine operation is different, and diesel takes longer to heat up, warm up. Petrol will be much quicker. Now, once you let's assume you took your vehicle for the road test, 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, AC was off. You can also limit turn the heat knobs to cold area, cold section, or climate control. That way, engine will warm up quicker. It will be less heat used to warm up the interior of the vehicle. So now we're back here. So again, you can locate the lower pipe would be where you're filling up the coolant. You fill up the cooling system. The smaller pipe, the top pipe, would be return pipe. Right? You can always look in here for any return of the coolant, which will indicate also the water pump is working. You can feel the pipes, see the pressure build up. Once it will be too bad, you will see the bubbles, like a boiling type signs in an expansion tank. On a dark expansion tank, like on a BMW, to check if the water pump is working, you have to remove expansion tank's cooling cap off, and there will be no return pipe, but the return cycle will be in expansion tank, and you'll be able to see little squirt of water coming out. Same thing would apply to electric water pumps. The vehicles who have electric water pumps, like BMWs, I think from 2012, electric water pumps fitted, and you can just simply turn ignition on and open it, and you'll see a little drizzle of the return coming into the expansion tank. Or you can also hear the noise if the engine is switched off. Now we're back. You're running. The engine is running. What you're looking is for these pipes. You have to touch the top holes, bottom holes, to see if the thermostat is opening. Normally, the first hop will be the top hose, and once the thermostat will open, the bottom hose will get hot also. So you have to put your hand in and touch that. You also keep monitoring your temperature gauge, but it's getting tricky when you don't have temperature gauge, like on some Astras and some other cars. They don't use the gauge for some reason. On some cars you can press some buttons and you can get a temperature option, so the gauge digital coming up on a dash, so you can do that. You can check that. But on some cars it doesn't have it. But coming back here, obviously once your car has been running, what you want to hear after those 20 minutes, you want to pull up and you want to look for the fan. You want to see the fan coming on. Once that is coming on, check the bottom pipe of the radiator hose, see if it's hot. Then you know the thermostat has opened as well, and your system is working correctly. Alright, so what you can, in this little test, in this little video, you should understand just a logical sequence. You can check for water pump operation, you can check for thermostat operation, and you can double check if the fan comes on, which cools down the radiator so that your temperature stays in a normal operational level, which will be mid of the gauge on 90 degrees, right? 92, 93. So that's how you can quickly determine if the cooling system is healthy and is working fine. But once you've seen some imperfections, something you are dissatisfied, or once you see, like I said, the system is pressurizing straight after 2 minutes of running, walk away. Or if you're confused, walk away. Just leave a refundable deposit and ask a professional to come and inspect the vehicle for you. But that should be really. I hope this video was helpful. If you found this video helpful, you can click on the link below, subscribe, have a look on my other videos. Some of them are funny, some of them are boring. You might like it. Click subscribe on CarExamer YouTube channel. And if you want to see some other quick tips or any logical explanation of certain things when you're buying a vehicle, leave a comment below, and I will do a video for that topic, and we'll try and explain a bit more. So that was it. On this vehicle, the fan is not yet on. I know cooling system is working fine. I hope it helped you. Take care.